Hi, my name's Louise. I'm here on behalf of Midwaste and Coffs Harbour City Council to talk to you today about how to reduce food waste. There are so many different things that we need to consider in how to reduce food waste, but today I'm going to talk about how do we actually store our food properly so it keeps longer, and also so when you've got leftovers you don't have to throw them out because it's stored properly. So when I buy my fresh produce, I like to make sure that, particularly my lovely mixed lettuce here, that I don't just leave it in the plastic bag or the brown paper bag that I get it in or that I buy it in. Because it just goes really soggy. I put in my little Tupperware container that my mum gave me years ago, my paper towel at the bottom so the moisture can sit at the bottom, and then I put that on top. It's like wrapping it up like a little nappy and then putting that on there. Now that will last at least a week, keeping it in an airtight container, keeping it nice and fresh with that on top. If you don't put the paper towel on top, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but you will actually absorb the moisture and reduce the sogginess of the mixed lettuce leaves. Beans are very similar. Wrap it up in a nappy, your paper towels, and I've run out of paper towels, so I do put one on top because that one actually had my you need to put the paper towels on top because it gets quite moist in there and then they go soggy as well. Here I just made some pesto before, and I have a container, a Pyrex container that I've had forever. The lid's broken because it was plastic and it kind of is the same kind of set as that. So now I have the beeswax wraps that you can either buy from the stores or you can make yourself, and I just covered that so it's in a nice airtight container. Though we eat the pesto really quickly in our family, we don't eat it all at once, so I need to make sure that that's airtight. Now that's got a nice amount of wax on it, so it actually is sealed, and that's a real trick and something that's really important when you're preserving food so it doesn't go off. You can do the same with a wrap on your bowl, or you can also buy these other ones if you don't get the beeswax wraps. It's kind of like a shower cap. They last forever and they're nice and tight, though they're not fully airtight. If you just need to cover it for a day or half a day and just put it in the fridge if you've got leftover porridge or leftover dinner from the night before, put it in the fridge and use it the next day. This one here is another one you can just get from the supermarket. It's got a little airtight release in there, and I've got some leftover roasted pumpkin that I'll probably use in a soup or a stew. So I don't want to waste that. Don't need to freeze it because I know it's on my menu plan to use in the next 2 days. So I put it in that, put it in the fridge, and these are, another Pyrex container. They can go in the freezer. They do deteriorate after many years, but they're so handy. And it saves you so much money when you actually preserve your food, store it properly. Food waste is so critical for our environment and for your family budget. So the more that we can do, all the little tips along the way to reduce that food waste helps both our family, our budget, and our environment. That's it for me on food tips on how to store your food. Check out our Living Coast website and our Facebook page for more tips along the way. Thank you.